Now you raise an interesting point, which is people say, well, why aren't mainstream Muslims standing up and condemning these attacks? The answer is we are.
In the world of academia, few stories are as intriguing as that of Dr. Jerald Dirks, a renowned American mathematician whose conversion to Islam defied expectations and shocked the intellectual community. Imagine a man whose life was shaped by logic, reason, and a passion for science, finding in the teachings of Islam not just a spiritual path, but an intellectual awakening. Dr. Dirks' story is not merely about adopting a new religion, but about how his deep-seated questions about existence, the universe, and the nature of truth led him to Islam, a religion that aligned perfectly with his rational mindset. For a man like Dirks, whose career was built on hard facts and logical conclusions, embracing a faith that was so different from the one he had grown up with was a monumental decision, and his journey to Islam is one that continues to inspire. But what exactly drove him to leave behind the comforts of his Christian upbringing and step into the world of Islam? Was it purely intellectual, or did something deeper compel him? Let's explore his journey step by step and see how a respected mathematician found truth in a faith that many of his peers would never have expected him to embrace. Dr. Jerald Dirks was not someone who made decisions lightly. As a successful mathematician and scholar, his life was guided by facts, reason, and evidence. Raised in a Christian household, Dirks had always been taught that Christianity was the only true path. But over time, as he pursued his academic career, he began to question many of the assumptions he had been raised with. The more he studied, the more he realized that the religious teachings he had grown up with didn't satisfy the deeper questions he had about existence, morality, and the nature of truth. Dirks didn't want to just accept religious teachings on blind faith. He wanted evidence. He wanted a rational framework for understanding the universe, one that fit with the scientific principles he had dedicated his life to. This quest for truth led him to explore different religions and philosophies, and in doing so, he encountered the teachings of Islam. It was in Islam's approach to knowledge and understanding the universe that Dirks found something he had been searching for: a deep intellectual coherence that aligned with his understanding of science and logic. But his conversion wasn't an easy one. He didn't embrace Islam simply because he was intellectually convinced. There was something deeper at play. The teachings of the Quran and the example of the Prophet Muhammad resonated with him on a personal level. But what was it about Islam that captivated him so fully, especially given the academic pressures and personal challenges he faced? For Dr. Dirks, the turning point came when he realized that Islam did not present a conflict between science and religion, but rather it offered a holistic view that integrated both. Islam's emphasis on the pursuit of knowledge and its view of the universe as a rational, orderly creation aligned with Dirks' scientific understanding of the world. One of the key aspects that drew Dirks to Islam was the Quran's approach to knowledge. Unlike many other religious texts, the Quran encourages reflection, reasoning, and the use of intellect. Verses such as, "Do they not reflect upon the Quran, or are there locks upon their hearts?" deeply resonated with him, challenging him to think critically about life, the universe, and his purpose. In Islam, Dirks saw a faith that didn't just encourage blind belief, but also invited intellectual inquiry and exploration. This was something he found especially compelling. It wasn't just the rational coherence that attracted him. It was the holistic approach to life and knowledge that Islam presented. But Dirks' conversion wasn't just an academic or intellectual decision. As a public figure and a respected academic, he faced tremendous pressure from both his family and peers when he announced his decision to embrace Islam. It was a controversial move that many couldn't understand, and the backlash he received was harsh. This forced him to confront even deeper questions about faith, identity, and the price of truth. How did he reconcile the challenges of his professional and personal life with his newfound faith? The final push for Dr. Dirks came when he realized that Islam was not just a religion, but a complete way of life that answered all the questions he had been grappling with. He discovered that Islam provided a clear and comprehensive framework for understanding human existence, morality, and the purpose of life. Dirks found in the Quran a message of unity, purpose, and clarity that was missing from the teachings he had previously known. He found comfort in the notion that life has purpose, that suffering is meaningful, and that all aspects of life are interconnected. In his own words, Dr. Dirks described his conversion as a spiritual and intellectual awakening, one that gave him peace and clarity that no other philosophy or religion could provide. The challenges he faced during his conversion, both internally and externally, only solidified his commitment to Islam. His decision wasn't born out of desperation or emotion, but from a deeply intellectual and spiritual search for truth. So, what can we learn from Dr. Dirks' journey? But there's more to his journey. What impact did Dr. Dirks' conversion have on the academic community? How did his newfound faith challenge the boundaries of both science and religion? The story of Dr. Jerald Dirks doesn't end with his conversion. It marks the beginning of a profound transformation that continued to shape his life and work. Stay tuned.